Abhiyan was in NICU for 2.5, almost 3 months. It was only when he was 2.5 kilos that they allowed us to take him home. And he was home with us for just 21 days before his next surgery. And his second surgery was so basically they took the intestine out, so they put something called a stoma, they create a stoma. And I didn't allow any nurse to touch him. I used to dress him myself. And when he went back for surgery, the doctor said he would be in hospital for a minimum of 21 days because that's how long it will take for the intestine to heal, for him to start passing motions. Oh my God, I was so potty obsessed. I still am. Moms know, right? That obsession. Yeah, but in my case, even more so. On day 9, this child was ready to come home. So, for me, while we had all kinds of tough moments, I think just watching this child's fortitude and I believed only one thing through this time, that he had chosen me because I had prayed very hard for him and he was not going to leave me. I believed that with all my heart. But you can all imagine how terrifying most of those moments may have been. And it's just so empowering as a parent to gain that strength from an infant child because it's incredible the kind of life force they come with and exhibit, even though they're so physically tender and small and fragile. He's a badmash now. He's started walking, he speaks over 50 words, he's full of life and energy and fun and gratitude. So anything you hand Abhiyan Azad Lekhi, you say, thank you. I'm actually so envious. I want to ask you, I've never done this before, right? I haven't taken Abhiyan for any event. I'm like, this is amazing.
Welcome to all baby chakras.
Next time I'll bring my baby and I want to see whether he'll actually sit this peacefully because he doesn't sit for a second.
Good luck.
Boy child versus girl child. It is the truth.
No, but it's not a gender thing, Simone.
I'm telling you.
I have a friend who has a girl who is just as hyperactive as my boy.
You know, luckily.
I know you're a mother of boys, which is why you're saying this.
And a girl.
And a girl. Oh,
Girls are like, it's like a girl play date is like a play date. A boy play date is like a typhoon. Oh my God, they're out of control. Out of control.
I'll send my daughter to you. Experience it.
Okay.
I know lots of mothers who say that my daughter is just as hyperactive as your son.
Oh man, they are full of energy and that's how they should be. We have to learn patience, tolerance, gentle parenting, and all of that in the middle. Yeah. Would anyone else over here want to share their toughest moment as a mom?
So sorry, I just want to so many of you understand that this is clearly a sharing circle, right? It's not a panel, it's not an event, it's not a, one of those panels, it's actually a sharing circle. So yeah, so who's sharing?
Hi, my name is Himani and I'm a content creator on Instagram by Myglamm. So the toughest moment for me was when my second one was born. So for the first 4 days, everything was fine. We were in the hospital, but once we were back and home, after 5 days, doctor gave a heads up, everything was good to go. And once we reached home, at something around 12 o'clock in the midnight, I just checked, he was yellow, pale yellow, completely yellow. Like I've never seen someone be so yellow, and I asked my mom, she was with me, what is happening? So she's like, maybe there's some minor jaundice. Even my first one had jaundice, but that was just some minute, the doctor gives a heads up and then you go home, okay, done. But this one, okay, we waited for 2 days still because I was not aware what is happening. And then after 2 days, his eyes was yellow, his tongue was yellow. And his blood, if you see the blood, that was also yellow. There was no red blood. So I was like, what is happening to him? And then we rushed and we called the doctor. The doctor said that it's an emergency and you have to put him into an ICU. And we just have to wait for the night. And the count for that jaundice was 30 points, which is the highest. And the doctor's like, if the count doesn't drop within this night, we'll have to do blood transfusion, which is going to happen in the morning. So blood transfusion is in which the whole blood, you have to remove the blood from the baby, and then you have to, I'll be here the whole night. I was like, okay, fine. But every 10 minutes, my husband used to come home. I used to give him the feed, and at that moment of time, I didn't have a breast pump. So I ordered a breast pump. It was a manual one which I got. But I couldn't, use it because my brain was not working. I don't know what was happening to me. And I was like, okay, I have to express it now, hand express. So the whole night I have hand expressed the milk, just every 20 minutes, okay, from here, then from here. I don't know if you guys get it, like how do you, and the pain, that pain was like, I was not even thinking about the pain. All I could think about was my baby, what is going to happen to him. And the doctor actually mentioned about the blood transfusion only to me and my husband, no one else. So we were the only ones who knew about it, because my mom and everyone would get hyper and they would, be worried. So the whole night I couldn't sleep. That was the worst moment and toughest moment I think I have felt as a mom. And in the morning my husband called me that the count has dropped to 25, so you don't need to worry. More 3-4 nights. I would actually, push all the moms to do the same, because I think only because of my milk has this immunity grown up, and he came back home within 5 days.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, let's put our hands together for Nisha Rawal. So Nisha has been a part of the industry, the film and television industry, for 21 years. She has acted in soap operas, movies, reality shows, and all of it. She is a mother and now a fabulous content creator as well. So thank you, Nisha, for being here. Said about gratitude, it's easy to say gratitude is, the best attitude, which of course it is. But it's this and its community that actually makes you remember what gratitude means, because it's so easy to become a victim and think of your problems being the biggest, right? I know I do, I have, I'm sure everyone has at some point. But when you start hearing other people's obstacles and things that other people have gone through, suddenly you're like, why was I even...
Firstly, apologies for the delay. I think I've officially taken off this whole thing that I used to have this air about, that I'm always on time, so a big apology for that, and thank you for waiting. So about the question on how I feel as a mom from the media industry, I believe that, I've gone through a lot of transition periods in my life, like I'm sure most of us have. And right from the time where, there was only conventional advertising to now we've moved to the whole digital world, and thanks to that we're here today. I feel that being a mom in the media industry is definitely not easy, because you're judged for, tying your hair in a messy ponytail, or you're required to always be this perfect person, like they see you on screen, they think that that's how you need to be off screen too. And I believe that just puts an added pressure. I'm sure as moms we are all struggling every day, being a mom just was not hard enough. So I believe that is just an added pressure, but thanks to the changing times that I said, that I belong to a world where I have seen it all, where I come from the time where people have shamed me for many things, and here I am today where we are just a bunch of this strong community where we kind of, root for each other. So it feels good, and gratitude, like she was talking about, that Simone said. I believe that that is all I have in my heart right now.
Thanks, Nisha. I'll move to Dia. How did you navigate change in your life? When you become a mom, your body changes, and there are other changes as well. How was your experience?
Honestly, Varka, I didn't really get the opportunity to think about too much, only the fact that because of the background that I've already shared, there was just this urgent medical condition that we were all dealing with. So I'm really grateful that I didn't go through any kind of postpartum or any such. I had wonderful care. My gynecologist is just the angel that I think we all need. He was excellent with handling me, especially given the circumstances. And the support of my family, my husband, my mother was just extraordinary. So I can't really think back to anything that I had to struggle with apart from just coping with understanding how I was going to be okay with being away from my child at such an early phase of his life, and how, this wonderful mother shared about how she believed that her breast milk really was the best medicine for her baby. And in my case, I wasn't able to lactate at all. And I think that was one of the most crushing things I had to deal with so early in my child's life, that because he was born so prematurely and he was away from me and we didn't get the chance to even have skin to skin, my body just didn't produce the hormones it needed to. So there was a lot of all of that I had to deal with. But having said that, a lot of people say this to me, you don't look like you've just had a baby. Or you don't look like you've become a mother. And I'm like, I don't know whether it's a compliment. Because I'm pretty certain that if my child had reached full term, my body would have changed a lot more than it did. And it's oftentimes, of course, paid as a compliment, but in my mind, it figures as a reminder for something I was unable to do. And which is why I always tell mothers and of course everyone else that we really need to stop stereotyping what a woman should look like when she has a child. And this is a conversation we really need to have a lot more of. Like, Simone, you're gorgeous. Damn, you're hot. And I'm sure everybody says this to you too, right? And I'm sure you have your own set of struggles.
100%, I've done posts on this also.
Exactly. So, yeah, I remember reading one of them. So yeah, it's. I think this is something that we really need to change. But I have to admit that I read so much about postpartum because I think it's something that every woman must equip herself with the knowledge of. And especially make sure your family understands what postpartum is. I made sure my husband, my mother, everybody read up everything there was on it. And thankfully I was, spared. But it can be horrifying for those who have to deal with it.
Yeah, I think that brings me, it almost led me to share my story. Perfect segue. Yes, perfect segue. It feels, so I've had my son 10 years ago, right? So the story will feel dated, but in my heart, it almost feels like I have to keep, and I'm going to try and keep it as crisp. But the reason I want to share it is because sometimes you have to hasten the process. And that's what I want to kind of be a private banker with Morgan Stanley prior to having my first born. And I was raised by a stay-at-home mother who raised us beautifully, 3 children, well-rounded, all of that. And the most natural thing for me to feel as a mother was that attachment to your child and wanting to give the best. And also the chatter in your brain saying, if I take a break, I will perhaps be the best mom that I can possibly be. Without actually parent to do is to, or a mother to do, who doesn't perhaps have to work to get the bread on the table, is to say, I'm going to take a sabbatical.
But honestly, it was work that got me back into my senses. And that is exactly what led to me starting to blog on Instagram. And here I am today. That is like literally how the Instagram journey began. So yeah, it's all of these things just come up in November, but we're all here stronger. I'm proud of myself. I know everyone sitting here is proud of themselves too, and I know that one day our kids are going to be super duper proud of us. Nisha, now since you're here, tell us, what has been your hardest moment as a mother?
Well, everybody is speaking so beautifully here, and I am humbled to be a part of this evening because it's just so endearing as well as inspiring at the same time to watch every mom out here just casually share. It's just like two friends sitting at a coffee shop and just sharing, that's the best part I like about this evening. So, well, I don't even know which part because I've been a mother for 5 years now, and Kavish has just turned 5, and before that, I think the hardest part of being a mother is when you carry a child and then you just feel the entire excitement of being a mom, and then one day you don't become one. Like I lost a child before Kavish when I was 5 months pregnant. And I think that was the hardest part because, there are still those hormones in your body. They're telling you that, oh, you're still a mother. And then, your breasts are full, your tummy hurts, and, all of those signs that I've even forgotten the signs because it's been so long. But all that soreness in your body and all your shopping lists and the apps you subscribe to, and they're telling you, okay, now your baby is the size of a watermelon and a pumpkin, and then one day you're just not pregnant. And then that's tough, it takes over your life and your mental health goes for a toss, and then you reach out and then you form your own community and you're there for each other. So I feel the hardest of our moments are the moments that make us the strongest. And that's the hard moment that made me strong, because after that I took my own time to come out. It took me 7 years to get over or come to terms with the fact that, okay, my baby is now an angel. And that's when I announced this support group for women on my Motherhood Chronicles page, which is called Goodbye Angel. That's what I used to call my baby. And that's for all the mothers who can come together and, whether born or unborn, whichever child they've lost, it's for them. And, I'm not a doctor, but I can sure be a friend. So over a DM, I kind of talk to moms and give them strength. I talk about my journey, put them onto my therapist, and those are the little things we can do for each other. So I think the hardest part of being a mom is when one day you wake up and you realize you're not. Yeah, so.
Thank you so much, Nisha, for sharing that so candidly with us. And that actually takes me now Miss India to a lead actress and now an environmentalist, along with being an amazing, amazing mom. Did you change as a person, or the decisions you make are different from what was earlier?
No, Barkha. I think what happened after I became a mother was that I just became even more fiercely passionate about what I was doing, because I think, I'm really grateful that I find myself in a place in life where everything that I do is aligned with my purpose. And whether it is creating content, or it's telling a story, or it's being a talk, or whatever it is, it's all aligned with what I really, really care about. And I think what Abhiyan's birth has done for me is just made me that much more determined to see us through this time. I'm going to share something really important with all the mothers here. Unfortunately, environmental action and climate change does not feature as a mainstream conversation, and it's not everybody's priority as it should be. Because, and I want to address this of mothers, because there are these group of mothers at COP27 right now. They call themselves warrior moms, and they're fighting for air quality in Egypt. And unfortunately, what has happened is that we've created a society that is hyper-consumerist, and we've created a world that is just driven by that hyper-consumerism, that we pay very little attention to those things that truly bring balance and health into our lives. Yes, the yoga is important. Yes, the nutrition is important. Yes, it's important to have goals and aspirations in life. But at the end of the day, the one thing and the only thing that determines the health of our children is the health of our planet. And every choice we make each day, in our business, in our home, in individual choices impacts that. And I really want women, and especially mothers, to empower themselves with the knowledge that we need, because we are fighting not for the future of our children's lives, but for their present, today. You know, the AQI today in Bombay is over 258, which is really bad. Eventually, inhaling polluted air is going to create all kinds of complications in our children's lives. And as mothers, it should be our top priority. Call out people who are doing bad things to the environment. Support governments and organizations that are helping improve the state of the environment. And think of all the things we can as individuals do in our everyday lives to improve the state of the environment. So, yeah, I really wanted to share that with everyone today. Thank you. It's a hard fact, but you must have all heard about the Paris Agreement, right? Many nations came together to sign a document that basically promised the world that we would not allow the temperature to rise above 1.5 degrees, because that essentially means that the world that we inhabit will be totally different. It will not be livable for us. We will not know the world the way we know it. We will not know seasons the way we know them. We will not experience the goodness that nature has bestowed on us the way we know it. According to a recent report, given the rate of carbon emissions in 2022, we're looking at a 1.5 degree rise within the next 9 years. That should be a shake-up and a wake-up call for everyone everywhere. And if it isn't for our political leaders, then we have to make damn sure as parents that we make sure it is. So,
I love you, Diya. I love you. Anyone who knows me and follows my page here knows exactly why I'm saying this. Because, you know, I understand that we can't... Okay, I'm going to speak for myself. I would love to be as sustainable and care about the planet as much as I can, which I do, God knows I do. I can't necessarily be 100% plastic free, but what I can and what each one of you can make sure that you do is that you're mindful of the things you're buying, mindful of the things you're using. There's so many amazing options out there. I'm just going to throw a name of a brand. There's a brand called Refillable. Every household product of yours can be ordered from Refillable in glass bottles, and they take it back, and it's amazing. Things like balloons, you know, people used to be like, oh, it's a bit lame that you don't have balloons at your kid's birthday party. It's a small, out of the 100 decor things, then
balloons are plastic.
100%. 100%. And I refuse to have balloons at my kid's party. And you know, my husband asked me once, you know, what if he looks at balloons everywhere else and says, oh, why aren't you giving? Now he actually looks at balloons and very well knows the answer. They're destructive to the planet. He's not even 5. He knows the answer. Because it's our duty to, yes, we want those perfect Instagram pictures. It's my kid's party tomorrow. I want a perfect Instagram picture. But it can be perfect without waste and without balloons and without all of that stuff. There's a lot of things we can do if we just are a little bit mindful. And just like Diya said, I literally urge each one of you to please think before, you know, you buy stuff. Think about what it is you're buying. Things may cost a little bit more money. You know, everyone complains about, oh, my child is sick, my child is coughing again, the air sucks, where do we live, what a country, what a city, blah, blah, blah. Yet comes Diwali and everyone wants to burst crackers. Why, guys? Why? Like, and if, you know, Tanya, are you here? Where are you? No, Tanya, Khubchandani? Oh, she just left. Okay, so Tanya and I put out a reel about, you know, a very sweet reel about how we shouldn't burst crackers this Diwali. Trolled, we were attacked. It was a disaster. I was like, are you guys even kidding me? Like, why is this even like a fight right now? You know, it's a ridiculous fight. My kids had a great time. They took all their laser lights to the terrace and they had a light show of their own, and we played and we had fun, and they didn't have to deal with that air, and they didn't have to deal with being a cause of ruining the planet further. So, I mean, what you do is amazing. I don't do half of what you do, but I'm trying, and each one of us needs to try. Make that little, just, you know, improve even 5% more every month with what you did the previous month, then you're gold. And we're gold. But we all have to make that change.
And just to add, we have Nikki here, who's like hiding in the background as always.
So we'll save that for another time.
Okay, I'm just going to pass the mic to Nisha now. And then we're going to pass the mic around to y'all, okay? It's a simple question. Don't overthink it. Speak from your heart. What superpower would you want to have as a mom?
I think I want to be omnipresent. I want to be a helicopter parent without having that title. I want to watch every time what Kavish is doing. And I want to be a working mom and have all those aspirations and ambitions like a normal human.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm sure most of us want that.
Why can't there be cameras in our schools?
Yes. Yes.
I feel you. Okay, we're going to pass the mic on to y'all now. And tell us what superpower you would want to have. Okay, fine. We're going to pass it to 3 people. 1, 2.
List is always too big. But if I come to the first one is, I want to really understand at times what goes in my child's mind, because now they are not completely protected by us. They are exposed to so many things, and at times I want to be at the same page what he is thinking. So if I get that power,
Awesome.
thank you.
Awesome.
Hi, I would want to be invisible. So I'm going to be a mom of a teenager sometime. So so exactly, something similar. So I would definitely want to be invisible, and I want to just raid on and spy on him all the time.
Okay, so hi, I'm Vinny. So the superpower which I want to have is, having that mind on and off button, because whenever we are out, we are sitting here still, the mom mind is always tuck, 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 tuck. So I want to have a superpower of on and off button with my mind.
Amazing, amazing.
I think we have to get that.
So after, let's conclude the sharing circle here, but moms, we would love to donate 1 lakh in the Mirza's name to the children of Kra. So thank you so much for being here.
Amazing.
Thanks, Priya. Thanks for all the good work, Priya.
This is a truly inspiring event and it's so beautiful.
Would Shashank, would you like to come on the stage and announce the winner of
I'm so excited to hear this. And I'm also,
Okay, any guesses? I mean, you guys have been at it. Any guesses? Who's gonna win?
Shreya's working for the Doxican pass here, guys. Can't you see it? Oh, you are? Okay, Shreya wants to win everything. Why not? 100%.
Jihal Bahar.
Do
Excuse me.
you want to give your phone to someone? Shreya, what a good start.
Priya, we'll just fill this check up and send it across. Yeah, of course. In Gina's name. Guys, once again for Gina. Thank you.
Thank you all, guys.
Don't worry.
So everyone just come in for 1 minute. Right here. And then can summarize.
Please stand. We are taking a group picture and it will be shared with all of you. I promise. Please.
One question, only 2 questions.
Only 2 questions.
Yeah, no, 2 questions.
Yeah, only 2 questions about the story. Yeah, it's okay.
Just one.
Okay, guys, let's do this picture.
Very quickly. Where do we see?
Yeah.
The camera's over there.
Excuse me.
Yeah, yes.
What you would like to say about today's event? Although we saw that all the moms were over here and they were sharing all their journey about it. What are the one thing which mom would like to do? What you would like to share about today's event? How was it?
I think it was very heartwarming meeting all the other mums here, sharing their journeys and their stories, and inspiring in such a candid and a casual way. You know, kabhi we just happen to talk about an incident in our lives that to us was like, okay, ho gaya. But then that becomes a really big inspiration for the one who's listening to it. I think here today many of those moments happened, whether it was preservation or conservation of the environment, or how to, what we want for our kids, and it was amazing.
There is something Nisha, I wanted to ask you. It's personal, right? How difficult is it to be a mom? Because children doesn't listen to their moms, right? How difficult is it?
I think this is the one thing that all human beings can relate to, because all of us have mums, and it's not easy being a mum, but at the same time it's very rewarding being a mum, because you want to protect your child, you want to nurture your child, you want the best for your child, you want to make sure that he has a great routine and he's healthy and he's happy, right from his mental health to his physical exercise, sending him to the best school. We want it all as mums for our children, and on top of that, when your child doesn't listen to you, it can be heartbreaking at times, but it's a part of their growing up days. हमने भी किया है, हमने भी अपनी मम्मी की बातें नहीं सुनी है, but then I believe that in all fairness, if you give in your all and you give in your best, and which I'm sure that all the mums do, the child eventually ends up fine.
साथ ही निशा अद्दा ने देखा है कि आप चाहे वो काम हो चाहे सभी चीज़ें प्रॉपर करती हैं, कितना डिफिकल्ट होता है, स्पेशली फॉर द वुमेन हू गो एंड सेट दे डू देयर वर्क आफ्टर दैट दे कम लाइक ऑल द वर्क फॉर द चाइल्ड.
I think it is definitely difficult, but I'm not going to glorify this difficulty, because I feel being a mum itself is a thing of pride. I feel, yes, I feel blessed that I am in this position where I can be a mum, because in today's world there are so many women who are struggling, to become mothers, and I just have a lot of gratitude in my heart, so I'm not going to complain. We all do it as mothers. Our mothers have done it, our mothers have done it, so it's a big deal, and yet it's not, because it's amazing.
Also you saw your YouTube channel.
Thank you. So I'm very excited when someone talks about my YouTube channel, because it's very new. Halaki, it's been there for a couple of years now, but last 2-3 years I hadn't posted any content, and I've just become active. It's been about 5 weeks only, and a new journey of vlogs have come up, and right from motherhood space to what's happening behind the scenes of my shoot and stuff. So it's nice, it's fun. I'm getting to connect with a new audience, because YouTube ki audience is slightly different compared to the Instagram audience, and I am more of an Instagram person. I have a bigger presence on Instagram than on YouTube, but it's nice to start from scratch, to connect with people, and people are actually responding very well. So I'm happy. It's new, it's fresh, and it's nice.
Apart from all these things, tell us something about your upcoming projects. What are your...
So at the moment, I'm planning to definitely work on my YouTube channel. Like I said, that takes in a lot of time, because I have 2 releases every week, and in the last 5 weeks I've done about 10 releases. So I travel for that, I plan my content, I reach out to people, I connect. So that is primarily happening. But और भी कुछ चीजें चल रही हैं, and right now is not the right time to speak about it, but it's gonna come up soon, and you guys are all gonna be happy soon.
साथ ही निशा ये भी जानना चाहेंगे, हाल ही में जो रियलिटी शो चल रहा है बिग बॉस 16, लोग बहुत ज़्यादा इस बार क्रेजी है, स्पेशली विद कपल, और रिएक्शंस लोगों को बहुत पसंद आ रही है. क्या इस बार आपके कोई फ्रेंड्स हैं?
So this time I really don't know much about Big Boss. जब भी मुझे कोई ये question पूछता है, but my mom's a very big fan of Big Boss. तो आते जाते मुझे TV में कुछ ना कुछ सुनाई देता है. And Abdu, when he went to the show, I know that Abdu is a part of it. I also know a couple of people who are a part of it, but I haven't been ardently following it. But I find Abdu very cute because I recently started following him on Instagram, and I got to know of his presence just about a week or two before he went to Big Boss. I think he's sweet and he's so talented.
As well as there are many television cases also, just like Tina, Sharon, many more. Is it to anyone of them are your friends?
So industry में हम जब होते हैं इतने टाइम से तो एक दूसरे को जानते ही हैं. Even if we don't know each other personally, we know of each other. So I wouldn't want to say much about it because I don't want to judge anybody on the basis of how they're behaving in a reality show because they all have different reasons to behave how they're behaving. Maybe they're not like that in their real life, but they want to survive for professional reasons or whatever their reasons might be, fame or money or to each their own. So I don't want to comment on something like that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So nice to see you.
Good questions.